Hello viewers and my dear students, welcome to my channel. My name is Jayabalan. In specializing the knowledge of economics for the students, I started posting lot many videos on my YouTube channel. I hope you must have already watched some of my videos and get impressed, right? On the microeconomics part, on chapter number 1, this is the 5th video. In the previous video, I had explained some of the concepts of production possibility curve. In today's video, in the 5th video of chapter number 1 of micro, I am going to explain one new concept which the students generally find it difficult, but it is quite easy, right? The concept name is marginal opportunity cost. Marginal opportunity cost. In case you are asked to explain this concept, marginal opportunity cost, by using a diagram or by using a table by the examiner in your class 12 final examination conducted by board. So how would you explain? I am going to make it in a simple way. Number 1, so there is a question. See here? An economy produces only two goods, good X and good Y. The following table shows different combinations of production possibilities. Of two goods. Production of good Y, production of good X. Some values are given in the table form. What you are asked to do? You are asked to draw a PPC for the given values. Number 1. Number 2, calculate the marginal opportunity cost. What is the shape of the PPC and comment on the shape of the PPC. This is the question. First of all, you should write down the heading marginal opportunity cost. You have to first write down the meaning, then you have to write down the formula, then you have to explain the concept marginal opportunity cost in the form of a diagram. At last, you have to explain the same concept marginal opportunity cost by using a table with a calculation, right? Shall we begin? You have to write the meaning, then formula, then explain the concept in the diagrammatical form, and at last explain the same concept in the table form. Okay, let's start with the meaning part. What do you mean by marginal opportunity cost? Children, before you write the meaning, you must understand one thing. When the resources are fully and efficiently utilized, and when the technology remains constant, if the economy wants to increase the production of one good, we are ready to sacrifice some number of units in the production of another commodity. This is the concept. When the resources are fully and efficiently utilized, when the technology remains constant, if the economy wants to increase the production of one good, the economy has to sacrifice some number of units in the production of another commodity. Based on this universal phenomena, universally accepted concept, we are going to write the meaning of what is marginal opportunity cost. See this? It is the ratio. Ratio means the proportion. It is the ratio or proportion between two things. What are the two things? Number one, loss of output of good Y. Loss in the output of good Y compared to the gain in the output of good X. When some resources are shifted from the production of good Y to the production of good X. Basic concept you have already understood. The economy already utilizes all its available resources fully and efficiently, and there is no change in the technology. In that situation, if the economy wants to increase, the production of one commodity, the economy must sacrifice the production of another commodity by some number of units. So, the ratio between the loss of output of one commodity to the gain of output of another commodity, that is the formula for calculating marginal opportunity cost. So, it is the ratio of loss of output of good Y to the gain of output of good X when some resources are shifted from the production of good Y to the production of good X. So now I am going to explain in the diagrammatical form. I told you already you are given a question. Already you are given a table in the question part. So you have to draw x-axis and y-axis. In x-axis we are going to show the production of good X. In y-axis we are going to show the production of good Y. Right? What is the first combination given in the table of your question part? The production of good Y 100 units, but the production of good X nil. Nil means 0. You see here? Production of good X 0. When the production of good X is 0, it means all the resources are fully and efficiently utilized in the production of only one commodity, that is good Y. So condition is there. If all the resources of an economy are fully and efficiently utilized in the production of only good Y, you see here, the economy is able to produce 100 number of units of good Y and not even single unit of good X. So good X 0 and good Y 100. That is combination number 1. Next line. Now what the economy wants? The economy does not want this combination. The economy does not want this combination of production of two goods. 0 and 100. No. The economy wants to increase. The economy wants to increase the production of good X. Therefore, the economy is ready to sacrifice the production of good Y. Why should the economy be ready to sacrifice the production of good Y when it wants to increase the production of good X? Because I told you resources are already fully and efficiently utilized. Therefore, if the economy wants to increase the production of good X, what should the economy do? Some of the resources which were already used in the production of good Y, some resources must be shifted from the production of good Y to the production of good X. So what will happen in the economy? The production of good X will increase and the production of good Y will decrease. Now you see the second combination. The production of good Y decreases from 100 to 90. Therefore, the production of good X increases from 0 to 25. So, vertically 25, horizontally 90. This is marked as point B. What does this point B indicate? Point B indicates that the economy is able to produce 25 units of good X and 90 units of good Y. This is for the second combination. Then combination number 3 in your table of the question. 70 units of good Y and 50 units of good X. Now, this is 25. The economy does not want to continue with this production. The economy wants to increase the production of good X further. So, what will happen? Again, the production of good Y falls. So according to the third combination, 70 number of units of good Y and 50 number of units of good X. So this is combination number C. Therefore, the increase in the production of good X is from 25 to 50 and the decrease in the production of good Y is from 90 to 70. Then next, 40 and 75. Again it further falls. 40, but here the production increases to 75. These 75 units of good X and 40 units of good Y. Fifth combination. Again the production falls. Why? Because we have shifted some of the resources from the production of good Y to the production of good X. So what would happen? The production of good X increases from 75 to 85. This is 85. 85 units of good X and 10 units of good Y. And again the economy wants to increase the production of good X from 85 further by shifting all the resources from production of good Y to the production of good X. So what happens? The economy is able to produce 87 units of good X and no unit of good Y. Why? No resources are used in the production of good Y. All the available resources are fully and efficiently utilized in the production of only good X. So this is one extreme. 87 units of good X and no unit of good Y. This is totally opposite. 100 units of good Y and 0 of good X. In between, these are the different combinations. Now, I try to connect. I try to connect all the points plotted. I try to connect all the points plotted. This is the shape of production possibility curve for whatever the values given in the table form of your question. Now, for the given values, we have drawn the production possibility curve. Now, you are asked to calculate the marginal opportunity cost and you are asked to comment on the shape of the PPC. So, these are the two things still left. Okay, let's focus here. What is the formula? Whenever you want to calculate the marginal opportunity cost, the formula is loss in the output of good Y divided by gain in the output of good X. I can explain this in the table form also. I can explain in the diagrammatical way also. Let's focus on the diagrammatical part. Now you see that when the production of good Y was 100 units, the production of good X was 0. Now what has happened at this point? What happened at this point? At this point, you see here, 25 number of units of good X are produced and only 90 units of good Y are produced. Therefore, you have to see here. You see here? What is the loss? This is the loss. But what is the gain? This is the gain. You see this? This is the gain and this is the loss. Right? The gain is 25, the loss is 10. Next you see. Next, the loss is 20. The production of good Y decreased from 90 to 70. So, this much is the loss in the output of good Y. But what is the gain in the production of good X? This is the gain. This is the gain of output of good X and this is the loss in the output of good Y. Then next level. See here, from 70 it has come down to 40. What is this? This is the loss in the output of good Y, but this is the gain in the output of good X. Again, the production of good Y decreased from 40 to 10. 40 to 10. This is the loss in the output of good Y. For that, this is the gain in the output of good X. Again, this is the loss. This is the loss in the output of. This is loss in the output of good X and this is the gain in the output of good X. Now you see the loss now. Major loss and gain again loss, gain, again loss, again gain. Now the ratio in which the loss and gain takes place, it is not even, it keeps changing. So this is how you have to show diagrammatically, the marginal opportunity cost. See the formula, loss is the numerator, gain is the denominator. Whenever the numerator is more, answer will be more. When the denominator is more, answer will be less. Look at this first. This much is the loss, this much is the gain. So this is less, this is more. So it will be below 1. Then you see here, this is the loss, this is the gain. So this is the loss, this is the gain. So when the gain is less, the overall ratio will increase. See the first gain 25. Okay. Then again 25. At that time loss is more. So when you calculate in the form of a table, you will understand in a better way and then comment on the shape of the PPC. I told you the meaning of marginal opportunity cost. Then I told you the formula for calculating marginal opportunity cost. For the given values, I explained how to draw a PPC in a diagram. Now we are going to comment on the shape of production possibility curve. What is the shape? Two things are very important. Number one, PPC slopes downward. Why PPC slopes downward? It is because, as I told you, if the economy wants to increase the production of one commodity, the economy must sacrifice the production of another commodity by some number of units. Therefore, production possibility curve slopes downward. Number two, this is very important. What is the shape of this PPC? It is concave. It is concave in nature. Now, why it is concave? Why the PPC shape is concave? Because of increasing marginal opportunity cost. What is how are we going to justify the increasing marginal opportunity cost? We are going to apply this formula and calculate the marginal opportunity cost for the given values of the table. Column number 1, production of commodity Y as given in the table of the question. Column number 2, production of commodity X as given in the table. So first two column values we copied from the question. And third one, we are going to calculate the marginal opportunity cost with the help of the formula I have explained and going to prove that the MOC is increasing. It is because of increasing MOC, the PPC is concave in shape. Right? Marginal opportunity cost. Formula, loss in the output of good Y divided by gain in the output of good X. Now you see here. For first level, you cannot calculate. When can you calculate marginal opportunity cost? When you know the loss and gain. So from 100 units of commodity Y, the production of good Y decreases from 100 to 90. So what is the loss in the output of commodity Y? 10. That is the numerator. Numerator is loss in the output of good Y. So here loss in the output of good Y is 10. And what is the increase or gain in the output of good X? 25. That is denominator. So numerator is loss in the output of good Y and the denominator is gain in the output of good X. So if you simplify 2 upon 5, it is 0.4. 0.4 means 0.4 is to 1. So this is the marginal opportunity cost when you compare the second level from the previous level of output. When you keep on calculating marginal opportunity cost, you will come to know that MOC is increasing. It is because of increasing MOC, the shape of PPC is concave. Now look at the third level. The production of good Y further decreases from 90 to 70. So 20 is the difference. This 20 is called loss in the output of good Y. What is the increase or gain in the output of good X? 25. So 20 is loss of output of good Y. 25 is gain in the output of good X. Simplify 4 upon 5. 4 upon 5 means 0.8. So 0.8 is to 1. Then again the production of good Y further falls from 70 to 40. So 30 is the loss of output of good Y. And increase in the production of good X is 25. So 30 upon 25, simplify 6 upon 5 is equal to 1.2. So 1.2 is to 1. Then production of good Y again falls down from 40 to 30. So 30 is the loss of output of good Y. And increase in the production of good X is 10. So 30 upon 10, answer is 3. Here the ratio is 3 is to 1. And next, 10 is the loss of output of good Y and 2 is the gain in the output of good X. 10 upon 2 is equal to 5. 5 means 5 is to 1. Now calculation is over. Observe the values of MOC we have calculated at different levels of output. First it was 0.4. Then it raised to 0.8. It further increased to 1.2. It again increases to 3 and it further increases to 5. This is called increasing marginal opportunity cost. It is because of increasing marginal opportunity cost the shape of PPC is concave. This is what students you have to understand. Another subtopic. Suppose you are asked to explain the change in the PPC of an economy when the technology improves or when the technology advances. In terms of technology, you can think of only this. You cannot even think of the opposite. So I have written only one. When the technology advances, what happens to the PPC of an economy? Okay, let me first draw the old PPC before the technology advances. Okay. The old PPC. Before there was any change in the method of production. What is the other name of method of production? The technology used. Before there was any improvement in the technology in the production of both the goods, AB was the PPC. Before technology improves. Now what will happen when we are able, when we find a new technology, when we invent an advanced technology? What happens with the same resources? With the same resources, now the economy can produce more number of units of both the goods than before. So what happens due to the advanced technology? The production of good X increases. And what happened to the production of good Y? Production of good Y also increases. Therefore, the new PPC will be A1 B1. This is old PPC. Before there was any advancement, before there was any innovation, before there was any improvement in the technology of producing both the goods, this was the PPC. But after the technology improves or advances or increases, so what happened? This is the new PPC after technology improves. So this is what you have to explain. What is this called? As I told you, if you recollect my previous video, chapter number 1 and part number 4, you would come to know that I had used one term called forward or upward shift of PPC. What is this called? This is forward shift. The PPC shifts from AB to A1 B1, resulting forward shift of PPC. That is because of technology advancement, technology improvement. Now, another small concept in chapter number 1 of microeconomics. Topic name is opportunity cost. Students, I am going to explain what is opportunity cost with just 2 examples, right? You can easily understand. First meaning, what do you mean by opportunity cost? The value of a factor in its next best alternative use. Next best alternative use. That is the meaning of what is opportunity cost. You know, there are many factors of production: land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. These are called factors of production. Now, this meaning of opportunity cost, I am going to explain with 2 examples. Example number 1, land as a factor of production. Example number 2, labor as a factor of production. Now, let's come to land. Imagine there is a farmer in your neighborhood. There is a farmer in your neighborhood. The farmer has a small piece of land, for example, right? This farmer has 3 options. The farmer has 3 options for use of his land. So let's suppose if the farmer uses his land in the production of wheat, what market value of wheat that he would be able to produce? Rupees 60,000, for example. But instead of wheat, if he used the land in the production of rice, this is the market value of rice that he could produce, rupees 55,000. If he used the land, whatever he has, in the production of maize, then 58,000 worth of 58,000 rupees market value of maize that he could produce. So these are the 3 options. Okay, when he had 3 options, obviously which one he would prefer? The one which gives him maximum revenue. So obviously he will use his land in the production of only wheat. But what is the meaning of opportunity cost? The value of a factor in its next best alternative use. Okay, because of decision to use the land in the production of wheat, what is the next best alternative use that he is losing? 58,000. So what is 58,000? 58,000 is the opportunity cost of use of land for production of wheat. For the production of wheat, the opportunity cost is 58,000, because next to 60,000 the value of land is 58,000. So 58,000 is the opportunity cost. Second example, labor. Take your own example. Assume that you are Rahul. In our example, you are Rahul. For example, let us suppose you have completed your graduation or post-graduation, for example. Now, you have decided not to continue your studies. Now, you have to earn an income for you to support your parents. You have 3 options. You are a skilled labor. You are an intelligent engineer, right? You have 3 options for you to earn your income. If you get an employment in India, you would earn rupees 80,000 per month. That is one option. If you decide to take a job, get an employment in Britain, 1 lakh would be your monthly income. But if you decide not to work under somebody, if you decide to be a self-employed person, as the government of India keeps encouraging the youth these days, because in case you decide not to work under somebody, you want to become an entrepreneur by establishing your own business in a small scale, depends upon the available your own resources. You would be able to earn 1,20,000 rupees per month. So when you have three options, when you are not able to make a decision, what would you do? You would discuss with your friends. You would discuss with your highly experienced, most experienced, your parents. Then finally, you will decide to use your intelligence, being a self-employed person, for earning 1,20,000 rupees a month. Okay. Because of your decision to be a self-employed person, what is the opportunity cost of self-employment? What is the meaning of opportunity cost? The value of a factor in its next best alternative use. What is the value of labor in the next alternative use? 1 lakh. So 1 lakh is called opportunity cost of the labor for self-employment. Finally, we are about to complete all the topics of chapter number 1 of microeconomics. So this is the last but not the least. Suppose you are asked in an examination, how would you show the full and efficient utilization of resources, and how would you show the underutilization of the resources by using a diagram on PPC. So with the help of a diagram showing the PPC, how are you going to show these two situations? Situation number 1, full and efficient utilization of the resources. Situation number 2, underutilization of the resources. Right? Number 1, you try to plot a point. When you try to plot a point anywhere, either here or anywhere on the PPC, what does it show? It shows the resources are fully and efficiently utilized. But if you try to plot a point anywhere inside the PPC, it shows that though resources are available in an economy, the economy has not utilized all the resources fully and efficiently. So this point plotted shows that there is underutilization of the resources. So, dear viewers and my dearest students, this is the end of the introduction chapter. This is the end of chapter number 1 of microeconomics. This chapter I had explained in 5 videos. Every video is equally and highly important in terms of having knowledge, having a thorough understanding, and of course for the purpose of scoring the competitive marks, better marks than other students of your class. Right? Hope my videos would be of immense help, a great support for the students who try to put in their best effort to flourish in their life. So with this, I conclude chapter number 1. Students, as I had already explained in my introduction video, basics in mastering in economics. In that video, I have already told you that continuously till the day you go for your board examination, I'll keep posting 4 or 5 videos in each chapter of microeconomics as well as macroeconomics. So, in case you have a big dream, making economics as a career for flourishing your life, continuously without missing at your own convenient timings, repeatedly watch my videos, feel honored. Thank you very much.